All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out my channel. So a lot of times I do these videos when I'm going into the gym, while working out, or when leaving. In this case, I'm dipping. So what I want to talk about today is basically regarding when people join a gym, but you can use this for anything. Stop having unrealistic expectations when first learning how to work out or when first doing anything physically related. Mainly obviously sports. I don't care if you're going to join a gym. I don't care if you're joining yoga, Pilates, mainstream sports, whatever the case may be. I want people to relax and take their time and understand to learn about fitness or whatever you're trying to do is going to take a substantial amount of time. So the one thing I can kind of relate this to is karate, say for instance, and as you know, they have different belts. And one of the reasons they do that is because they want people to learn it takes a substantial amount of time to get to a certain point. Now, there may be people that come in there that are very accelerated, that can do things quicker than others. But for the most part, usually a white or a yellow belt is not going to be able to challenge for the most part. Usually, a brown or a black belt. They're not as knowledgeable. And it takes, again, a lot of time to get to that point. Hold on, let me set up over here. So what I have seen for the most part over my entire life, especially regarding gyms, is I'm going to kind of break this down actually into two categories of people. And one of those things is a lot of times when people first join the gym and say they were athletic or they did a lot of things sports related in their past, they usually for the most part will excel. And a lot of times it seems like those are the type of people that really like to work out because they worked out in their past. They just have a knack for it. They also may have different types of genetics. They may be gifted, coordinated, all those type of different things. But then there's the other person, and that's kind of what this video is about. Again, about being unrealistic expectations, is they go in there and they're either, overweight, very thin, never worked out before, never really realized all the potential they have. And I think what happens with them a lot of times is, again, they have the unrealistic expectation that they're going to get results in a certain amount of time. And I think this has happened because of social media. I've discussed this before, magazines, or they have watched reality shows and they've seen people get a certain amount of results very quickly, which could be the case. I'm not saying that that didn't happen, but a lot of times that's very unrealistic. And you also have to understand you cannot always be judging yourself against what others have gone through. You don't live the same life as them, right? And even if, say, hypothetically, a reality show, these guys all of a sudden fall into those situations, they live through it, they have certain diets, it's a totally different atmosphere than probably what you're going through, because the reality is you're joining a gym or you're going to do something fitness related, nothing's really changing in your life, not necessarily your environment, with the exception of now you're working out and you may want to change up your diet. But for the most part, your life is not going to be dedicated to that for that certain amount or substantial amount of time, if that makes sense. So I'm here to tell you, and I promise you, if you learn to have patience and not get obsessed with certain types of results. Now, I want to make sure that I'm clear here. That does not mean when you join a gym or when you go to do anything physical that I don't want you to kick it in the ass and try your hardest and get nuts and all that. I'm 100% behind that. And I want you to do whatever you feel you need to do to get the results you need, but you have to understand that that may take a lot longer than weeks, months, and may even take a couple years. And I think what also happens with people that join a gym, they're looking around, or any type of physical activity, and they're looking at a lot of other people that are in much better shape than them. You have to realize a lot of times that took most likely for a lot of people years to get to that point. It may have even honestly taken decades to get to that point. So yes, please learn to take your time. If you plan on working out, losing weight, gaining muscle, you have to realize it's not just an experiment a lot of times to say, you know what, I'm going to try this out for a few months and see how it goes. You have to look at it in a very, very long term, almost to the point where you're not quitting. You're going to do this until you get the results that you want to get, right? And again, you don't know a lot of times how long that's going to take you because, again, you have different genetics and you have an entirely different lifestyle. Now, I'm going to be doing another video on taking notes when people first start learning how to work out, because I think this is an incredible tool, and I'll be making a video separately on that. But I think, again, when people first start to work out, they get results sometimes, let's say for the first few months, right? And then it kind of levels off. If they take their notes, they're going to start understanding that and figuring out what is working, what is not working. The truth is, if you want to start getting exceptional results, you're going to have to also push yourself harder. All right, that's just kind of common sense. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a video on regarding taking notes, but please take your time and understand getting fit or learning a certain skill, regardless what type of physical activity you're doing, is going to take time. I don't care if you go surfing, most likely it's going to take you a long time to learn how to ride a certain type of wave or a certain size. Same with running, same with doing a marathon, same with doing yoga. It's going to take time. Now, if you have, again, yoga and you're very flexible to begin with, sure, that's going to come to somebody a lot more natural. But if you don't have that ability, right, you're not that flexible, don't think that you can't do it or you're not going to be able to achieve that, because I'm going to tell you right now, the people that I've realized over the years that achieve the most are the ones that stick with it the longest. You also may have not had the mindset to understand what your true capabilities are because you've sold yourself short, especially when it came to doing different athletics, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Oh my goodness, I was kind of just off the cuff. I was thinking about it while I was in the sauna, and I'm like, I see a lot of guys up there and they get depressed or they get mad, and you could see they're, you know, they got their head down, they're not, and I talk to a lot of people, they know I have a YouTube channel. I'm like, listen, stick with it. Don't quit on yourself, man. You really don't know your full potential. Even if you've worked out a few years, you may be stuck in a rut. You may want to start trying other things. I'm always doing videos on that. You may have maxed out your potential or your interest regarding certain things. It could be weightlifting, it could be running, it could be yoga, whatever. Try different things, all right? You're going to always get different results if you try something new. Don't forget that, good and bad. But anyways, if you get a chance, check out my podcast, The Rich Celenza Show. WTF are you talking about? I did some fitness things on there. I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hit me up. Oh yeah, I'm wearing strong arm shorts today, my buddy. There you go, Mordecai. There you go, brother. But yeah, please don't sell yourself short. Stick with it, and don't, again, have unrealistic expectations of where you should be at a certain time, because that may not be the case. It may take you longer. Sometimes that's a good thing because you learn along the way. And I really believe a lot of times when people rush things, especially when gaining muscles, gaining muscle mass and doing certain things, or even losing weight, they're too drastic, they shock their body. So just learn to have some patience. You're the turtle in this thing, not the bunny or the rabbit or whatever the hell what the fuck? I don't even know what I'm talking about. But take your time is what I'm saying. All right, take care, and oh yeah, if you get a chance, subscribe.